Hey, Viv, good morning.
Good morning, and we'll get there once again with another front that is set to arrive tomorrow. Now, as far as the radar is concerned, it is mostly dry. You won't have to tote around the rain gear in quite some time. And even though we're going to be seeing some shower activity tomorrow, we're not expecting a whole lot of rain. There's not much to this front, but there is the potential for parts of the Panhandle, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, a sliver of Louisiana to see some strong and thunderstorms today. Now, temperatures here at home, although it's warmer, it still feels comfortable. It's 74 in Fort Lauderdale, 68 in Hollywood, same for Hialeah to 71 in Miami, 67 in Homestead. And as we take a tour of the Florida Keys, temperature readings here have been much warmer. The top spot, that's Marathon, checking in at 77. Our airflow out of the southeast, and that's why it's warming up. And we're tracking another front that is going to produce limited showers heading into tomorrow, but then the dry stretch is forecast to continue. Your complete outlook coming up in a few minutes. Good morning, South Florida. We're waking up to slightly warmer conditions, but it still feels fine. It is 71 in Miami, 74 in Fort Lauderdale to 75 in Pompano, 68 in Pembroke Pines. The wind calm inland up to 11 miles per hour along the coast, humidity at 75%. And here's a look at the local storm tracking radar. Mostly dry weather underway, and we're expecting it to be dry at least through early tomorrow until this next front rolls around. There's not a lot of moisture to this front. The highest risk of seeing storms that will be around northern sections of the state tomorrow, but then the leading edge of that system will get weaker in terms of the rain as it pushes to the south. So tomorrow we will have an isolated to scattered shower chance in the afternoon. In the evening, the winds are going to be increasing out of the north, and that's what's going to help temperatures tumble, even though we'll have some leftover clouds early Thursday. Throughout the day, it turns a lot brighter with a mild afternoon expected. Temperatures typical in the 70s. So we're going to get a brief cool down heading into Thursday with the forecast low at 58. And then we bounce back to where we should be for this time of year on Friday. Now, heading into the upcoming weekend, if you haven't made any weekend plans, we have the Winterfest Boat Parade happening in the beautiful city of Fort Lauderdale at 8 o'clock in the morning. For those of you who will be gearing up and setting up shop for the parade, it'll be breezy with temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s by 3 p.m. Look for a temperature reading of 78, and by the time the parade begins, lower 70s, and it's going to feel nice with that breeze out of the northeast, anywhere between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Your boating forecast calls for no advisories. Southeast winds today, 10 to 20 knots for the Florida Keys. No advisories for boaters here, light to a moderate chop. And in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to get low tide happening in Fort Lauderdale and Miami. So for today, highs anywhere between 80 to 81. It'll be above average. Tonight, more humid. However, it stays dry. Your extended outlook does call for a brief cool down on Thursday. Should be nice and typical Friday into the upcoming weekend, just on the breezy side. And that's your 7 on 7 forecast. Good morning, South Florida. We're waking up to slightly warmer conditions than yesterday, but it still feels comfortable. It's 71 in Miami, 74 in Fort Lauderdale, 77 the top spot. That's Marathon with an east to southeast wind, anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our forecast calls for above average warmth in the afternoon as highs get into the low 80s when we typically should be in the upper 70s. We move on into tomorrow, the early part of the day, very quiet. And then in the afternoon, there's the possibility of seeing isolated to scattered showers until this front crosses through. And throughout the day, you'll also notice the winds increasing out of the north. So that's going to help temperatures fall into the upper 50s to wake up to on Thursday with some clouds around, and then throughout the day, skies will start to clear out. So as we're tracking another cold front, we're going to get the possibility of seeing some showers, the best chance basically all week long and in the days ahead, only up to 20%. So we've actually knocked down that chance, and it's seasonable for this time of year. But then the dry and breezy stretches will persist into the weekend. And then on Thursday, look for a low of 58. typical readings on Friday and also into the upcoming weekend. Your boating forecast looks okay. No advisories all around, but there is a high risk of rip currents at area beaches. In the 9 o'clock hour, we'll have low tide, and today's highs will reach at about 81 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight, more humidity will be in the air with your extended outlook calling for a few showers starting tomorrow. And that's your 7 on 7. Good morning, South Florida. Waking up into the upper 60s to lower 70s for the most part. 68 in Pembroke Pines, 71 in Miami, 74 in Fort Lauderdale, to 75 in Key West. Winds calm inland up to 11 miles per hour along the coast. Humidity at 75%. And here's a look at the local storm tracking radar. Mostly dry weather underway. It takes you through Broward, Dade, and the Florida Keys. And we will be following closely the progress of a stronger cold front right now across the mid-Atlantic states. Southeast, that's where we have some shower activity. Right now, to get you out the door, temperatures, yes, in the 70s, but we'll have this southeast wind, warming conditions up to above average values in the lower 80s when we should be in the upper 70s. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow, but then throughout the day, there's the possibility of seeing isolated to scattered showers, and then in the evening, winds increasing out of the north, allowing temperatures to tumble. And right now, models have backed off from the low 50s, but we'll be in the upper 50s, still wearing sweaters and jackets early on Thursday with some clouds, and then clouds clear in the afternoon, and it should be nice and mild, but the cool down will be brief, and then temperatures start to rebound on Friday. Now, as we look ahead into the upcoming weekend, we will have the Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade happening in the beautiful city of Fort Lauderdale, and it promises to be really nice weather-wise this time around. Breezy conditions with winds out of the northeast and temperatures ranging in the 70s all day long. Your boating forecast right now looks excellent. No advisories. Threat of rip currents high area beaches for the Florida Keys. No advisories here with the next tide cycle. Low tide in the 9 o'clock hour for Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Today's highs 88, 81. It will stay above average. Slightly more humid tonight in the 70s with your extended outlook calling for that cool down to happen on Thursday. And that's your 7 on 7 forecast.
For 11. Meteorologist Vivian G in the Plex. Hey, Viv, good morning for you.
Good morning. And on this December 11th, we're 2 weeks away from Christmas, South Florida. So yes, the holidays are around the corner, and we do have some changes happening, and we're going to be sporting around an extra layer or two starting tonight into tomorrow morning because of our next front. The jet stream is going to dive to the south, and that will allow a cold front to move in. So ahead, it's going to be pretty warm and humid today, and then heading into tonight, the front will arrive. And here's a look at the radar. Mostly dry weather underway. We have seen a few dotted showers around the Straits of Florida, having a hard time working their way northward, but we'll continue to follow them. Right now it's 74 in Fort Lauderdale, 69 in Hialeah, 73 for you in Miami, the same for Homestead. And our models are definitely going with a mix of sun and clouds. It's going to be warm. Highs are going to soar into the low and mid 80s, and then we're going to get a broken line of showers moving in with this front between 4 and 8 o'clock. More details on your local weather in a few minutes. Good morning, South Florida. Waking up to warmer conditions. We also have a mix of sun and clouds out there. It is 73 in Miami, 74 in Fort Lauderdale, 77 for you in Key West with a southeast wind 7 to 11 miles per hour and humidity higher at 84%. There are a couple dotted showers located around the lower Florida Keys into the Straits, and those are slowly moving toward the north, but it is mostly dry for your morning commute. We can't say the same around northern Florida into the northeast, all associated with our next cold front. So it will be very warm and humid ahead with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Behind the front, it's going to get colder and windy across the region tonight into tomorrow. But ahead of the front, between 4 and 8 o'clock, there's the possibility of seeing a broken line of scattered showers. Not a lot of activity expected, but you'll notice the winds increasing significantly in the evening, and that's what's going to allow temperature readings to fall into the upper 50s to low 60s. And we are looking at a low temperature of 58 degrees in Miami. Then it starts to warm up back to where we should be for this time of year heading into the upcoming weekend. And speaking of the weekend, the Winterfest Boat Parade is back, and it will start off in the beautiful city of Fort Lauderdale. Kicks off at 6:30 this Saturday with temperatures pretty much all day long in the 70s as preparations are underway. 3 p.m. 78, 7 p.m. 73 degrees, and it will be windy in exposed areas, but around the intracoastal, we're looking at breezy conditions, but it's going to be wonderful with a northeast wind, anywhere between 10 to 20 miles per hour. Small craft advisory goes into effect at 10 o'clock. There's already one in effect for the lower Florida Keys, with the next tide cycle happening at 10:22 in Fort Lauderdale. Highs today in the low to mid 80s. 85 is the forecast high in Miami tonight. Humidity will plummet, as well as temperatures, with your extended outlook calling for a brief cool down. Typical readings return Friday with some extra clouds, and then heading into the upcoming weekend, seasonable temperatures, breezy to windy conditions persisting through Sunday, but nice and a little warmer next week. That's your 7 on 7 forecast. Good morning, South Florida. We are waking up to a mix of sun and clouds. It looks really pretty outside, but once you step outside, it will feel warm and muggier, and that's on response to our next cold front. There have been a few dotted showers around the lower Florida Keys, but it is mostly dry everywhere at this hour. Heading out, temperatures will feel different in the mid to upper 70s. We have 78 in Lauderdale by the Sea, 76 in Fort Lauderdale. Out west, 72 in Davie, 73 in Pembroke Pines. Miami Shores at 72, 74 in Opelika. Homestead reporting 76. Widespread 70s for the Florida Keys. Islamorada at 77, 76 in Cajokie. The wind out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're expecting it to increase throughout the day because of this system. The jet stream forecast to take a big dip to the south, allowing this front to work its way into the area, and it should arrive early evening. And our in-house model run showing that we could see a broken line of showers moving in between 4 and 8 a.m. So behind the front, it gets cold and windy, and tonight temperatures will drastically tumble into the 50s around a lot of areas. Here's a look at what we can expect. The forecast, so for Fort Lauderdale 57, Coral Springs at 54, 56 in Kendall Lakes to 58 in Key Biscayne, and around the Florida Keys, 50s and 60s. Marathon, your forecast is 59, 62 in Key West. Your boating forecast to start off okay, but a small craft advisory goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning. And seas right now are up to 2 feet. For the Florida Keys, the coastal waters are going between a light to a moderate chop, but there is a small craft advisory for lower portions. Next tide cycle, low tide, 10:31 in Miami, 11:31 for you in Key West. So more sunshine today than yesterday. Look for a late day shower possible with highs between 81 and 85 degrees. So warm here in South Florida, but turning cloudy tonight with humidity levels going down. And your extended outlook calls for a brief cool down back to near average temperatures on our Friday with a few more clouds. Heading into the upcoming weekend, it will be breezy to windy, but typical temperature wise with a lot of sunshine. That's your 7 on 7 forecast. Good morning, South Florida. Waking up to bright sunshine. And we also have warmer conditions around. It's 78 in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, 79 already in Pompano, 78 in Key West. The breeze south-southeast increasing 10 to 14 miles per hour, as well as humidity levels already up to 76%. And on the radar, we've seen a few dotted showers around the Florida Keys, moving from the south to the north because of our airflow. But right now, if it takes you through Broward and the Keys, it should be mostly dry. It is definitely not dry around northern Florida, heading into the mid-Atlantic states and northeast, where there's a cold front moving in and the best chance of seeing some strong to severe type thunderstorms. But the jet stream is going to dip to the south, sending this cold front our way as early as this evening. But we will have a broken line of showers moving in across the region. In the meantime, staying very humid ahead. But once it crosses through, humidity levels will drop heading into tonight and tomorrow. But what about rain? How much rain are we looking at? Not much, really. Nothing as significant as northern sections of the state. So we're going to see some scattered showers up to a 40%, and then the dry stretch will persist through Saturday. There's the possibility that with another front, there could be some additional activity on Sunday. Your boating forecast looks okay for now, but starting at 10 o'clock, a small craft advisory goes into effect. There's a moderate risk of rip currents at area beaches, seas building up to 2 feet. Small craft advisory in effect for the Keys. Coastal waters here, light to a moderate chop, seas beyond the reef building 2 to 5 feet. We're going to get a low tide cycle now in the 10 o'clock hour for Fort Lauderdale and Miami at 11:31 in Key West. So for today, more sunshine than yesterday. Highs in the low to mid 80s, and in Miami, you could tie the record for the day, which is 85 degrees. Look for a late day scattered shower across the region 4 to 8 o'clock until the front crosses through, and then winds increase out of the northwest, so that should help temperatures go down in the forecast. So for Miami's 58, 57 in Fort Lauderdale, 62 in Key West. So we'll be sporting around the sweaters and jackets on our Thursday, back to typical on Friday through the weekend, staying windy along the coast with some sun, especially on Sunday. And that's your 7 on 7 forecast. So Scott Founds.
Hello, good morning. This is awesome. The weather is so perfect. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. That we were. I'm very happy that we were able to deliver and big night.
Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited for the parade this year. It's going to be really exciting.
All right, so talk to us about some of the wow boats.
So we've got some really, really great boats. It's 6:30. 7 o'clock would be Sunrise, 7:30 would be Oakland, and 8 o'clock would be Commercial.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. We'll see you.
Good morning, Tavares, South Florida. Thank you for joining us bright and early. I am live outside the Riverside Hotel on Las Olas, where preparations are underway for the greatest show on H2O happening right here tomorrow night. And now I have the pleasure to bring in the busiest man in the hospitality business, the Riverside Hotel General Manager, Heiko Dobrika.
Vivian, happy Winterfest Boat Parade weekend, South Florida. The weather is awesome. You did well this year. Good job. I love it.
Thank you. I had a little talk with Mother Nature. and Heiko, the Riverside is the prime spot to watch the parade right from the beginning. How does the Riverside prepare for this big night?
You got it. I mean, first of all...
Oh, fantastic. And what are you looking forward to the most about tomorrow's big night?
I think it's going to be just a magical night. You know, I think it's going to be very animated with a lot of action. What's going on? What's going on?
How are we? Hi. I'm the Grinch. Nice to see me. Doing good. You know, you said at this party tonight, you hear the stars and icons and all the fun, and I can't wait to show up me the most famous person there. It's going to be the best time. I'm so excited.
Well,
this is my spot.
Well, okay. All right. Well, listen. Then take it, because clearly it's not that hard to take away from you. So yeah, if it's your spot, it's all yours.
All right, Grinch. You're not going to be stopping the parade this year, okay?
Okay, I promise I won't stop the parade. I promise. Old habits, you know. They die hard.
You have been naughty enough. Do you have anything nice to say?
Yes, I do, actually. My amazing show, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical, is going to be at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts the 18th through the 23rd. 10 shows. You got to watch me steal Christmas from Southern Florida. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Oh, good Lord have mercy. I want to be a Grinch in training, South Florida. I'm just telling you that.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
We can't allow Heiko to become a Grinch. No.
No, he's not pretty enough. You know, you'll get there one. You got to try. You don't have the beauty like this, that's for sure. Absolutely.
All right, South Florida, it's going to be a great night. So much fun here at the Riverside, Party Central. That's what we can look forward to. So hopefully you can bring your family, friends for a wonderful time. This year's theme from Sawgrass to Seagrass, waves of holiday cheer. There's going to be so much entertainment, celebrities along the parade route, greeting the crowds, and it's going to be a wonderful night. And all morning long, I'm going to continue to talk to the people